Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. Global Beast Tamer. I, the Eternal Beast Tamer. Chapter 26. Early the next morning, GTN walked out of the room comfortably and had a simple breakfast. He planned to go out and take a look first. I don't know what's going on outside. After getting dressed and carrying his saber, GTN opened the door. Suddenly, a bloody smell assaulted my nostrils. The smell of blood is so strong. Who kills so many ferocious beasts early in the morning? GTN pinched his nose and said angrily. This happened to be heard by Ji-Bai, who came to see GTN, and he glanced at GTN speechlessly. This is not because you broke people into pieces last night. As a result, even though people had to clean it all night, they still couldn't completely remove the bloody smell remaining in the air. They had to wait until it dissipated on its own. But he didn't come to GTN today just to talk to GTN about the air. GTN, we have collected all the beast crystals you want. Do you want to go and take a look now? Ji-Bai asked. He had been busy for a while last night to collect them one by one. Oh, then go and have a look. GTN was very excited after hearing the news, and he couldn't wait to take a look. Good. Ji-Bai responded and led the way. He stored all the beast crystals collected last night in a warehouse. He believed that GTN would be surprised when he saw them later. Walking on the road, everyone who saw GTN couldn't help but hide away, watched GTN leave from a distance, and then left in a hurry, for fear of provoking GTN. Haha, have I become the big devil that everyone is afraid of? GTN laughed at himself. GTN, you don't need to care about what these people think. Ji-Bai stared at GTN and said after hearing GTN's words. The strong don't care what the weak think. When you become strong, people will only see your glorious side. As for the rest, people will selectively forget. Ji-Bai sincerely explained to GTN the principles his father had given him. Don't worry, I'm fine. GTN smiled sweetly. How could he be sad because of the eyes of outsiders? That would look down on him. GTN. Soon, after turning a few corners, GTN and the others came to a large warehouse. Last night I personally recorded their data one by one, and borrowed all the data I didn't have from the base's treasury. I guarantee that I won't bring anything missing. Ji-Bai ran to the warehouse door and pushed hard. The warehouse door was opened. The moment he saw what was inside, GTN knew he had made it. Right at the very back of the warehouse, a mountain of beast crystals was placed there. A large number of beast crystals are accumulated here, making the spiritual power here somewhat chaotic. The tide of spiritual power rushed into GTN's body, making him feel that his body's strength was slowly growing. You know, GTN now has the top level of black iron power. Although the growth is not very fast, it is still small enough, but it is enough to surprise GTN. How about it? Even in my entire life, I have never seen so many beast crystals at one time. Behind, Ji-Bai said enviously, unable to hold back the sourness in his words. Thanks for your hard work. GTN said happily. There is no way anyone who suddenly has such a large number of beast crystals can't help but be happy. It's like a modern person winning 100 million by buying a lottery ticket. What GTN is certain of is that if this mountain-like beast crystal is converted into money, he will become the youngest rich man among tens of millions of people in Laoshan City. However, it is obviously impossible for him to sell these beast crystals and use them as money. He wants to use all these beast crystals for his own evolution. Because he understands very well that his wife can obtain these finances only by relying on his own strength. Otherwise, if his strength were slightly weaker, he would have already lost his head and body. And no one will pray for themselves. This is the world controlled by aristocratic families. If you want to survive in this world, you can only continuously improve your strength. If he doesn't want to die, he can only ask others to die. There are 10,000 black iron low-level beast crystals, 7,000 intermediate beast crystals, 5,000 high-level beast crystals, 2,000 top-level beast crystals, 1,500 bronze primary beast crystals, 1,000 intermediate beast crystals, 500 high-level beast crystals, and top-level beast crystals. There are 300 crystals, 200 silver junior beast crystals, 100 intermediate beast crystals, 30 high-level beast crystals, and 3 top-level beast crystals. A total of 27,633 beast crystals. At the end of the sentence, Ji-bai's body started to tremble a little. Almost half of the inventory in the base's vault has been moved out. It is no exaggeration to say that with these beast crystals, you can buy several streets in the city center of Laoshan City. Ji-bai, you helped me a lot this time. I agree to what you said. Ji-tian turned around and said to Ji-bai. He, Ji-tian, is not an ungrateful person. Being able to sort this out in one night is very clear. He must be doing this very carefully. Me, my business. Ji-bai didn't think of it for a moment, but he quickly reacted. Suddenly a very surprised expression appeared on his face. Really? You really want to help me? Ji-bai walked up to Ji-tian excitedly and looked at Ji-tian and asked. He was so excited. No one knows what this trip to the secret realm means to him. Originally he was about to give up, but he heard the news about Ji-tian on the day he woke up. He was also a dead horse and a living doctor. Originally he just wanted to build a good relationship. But from the beginning on the school playground, Ji-tian defeated the Zhang family's legitimate son with one blow. It even made him willing to put his treasure on Ji-tian. And Ji-tian, who faced hundreds of people alone last night and still had no expression on his face. He has even named Ji-tian as his idol. Therefore, when faced with Ji-tian's instructions, he completed them meticulously and did not steal even a single bit. He even paid out of his own pocket to keep the displayed figures consistent. A lot of pads were made. And he had almost given up on the idea of letting Ji-tian take risks. Originally, he thought that he was the legitimate son of Laoshan City, and being acquainted with Ji-tian as equals already showed that he was tolerant and generous enough. And just last night, he discovered that Ji-tian was the one who was beyond his reach. Therefore, he no longer mentioned the previous invitation. But now Ji-tian told him. He agreed. He really said yes. At this time, Ji-bai wished he could hug Ji-tian, kiss him hard, and call him, good brother, again. Seeing such excited Ji-bai, Ji-tian was also very happy. He could naturally detect the change in Ji-bai's attitude towards him. It was a great honor for him that the legitimate son of one of his ministers could do this, and he helped him so much this time. Of course he wouldn't treat his friends badly. And if you can see the secret realm, it must be a good experience. Chapter 27. By the way, Ji-bai, I hope you will send someone to protect my sister temporarily. Speaking of this, Ji-tian's face showed deep worry. He knew that people from those families would definitely find all his information, so he was more worried about his sister. He was unwilling to put the conscience of those wealthy families over the safety of his sister. Don't worry about this, your sister is still my sister. Who dares to touch my sister? I will let my father equal the 18th generation of his family's ancestors. Upon hearing Ji-tian's explanation, Ji-bai said without hesitation. This is what Ji-tian asked him to do, so he must do it well. Then I'll leave first. If anything happens, just let me know. I'll be there immediately even if I lose 10 pounds of meat. Ji-bai saw that Ji-tian's eyes were always on the beast crystal, and he knew it was time to leave. Okay. Ji-tian nodded. He couldn't wait to turn these beast crystals into experience points. Cats. Before leaving, Ji-bai consciously closed the door of the warehouse, leaving a private space for Ji-tian. This guy. Ji-tian found that he liked this fat man who knew how to do things, so he left the matter to him, and Ji-tian felt relieved. However, Ji-tian sighed and quickly walked to the mountain-like beast crystal. Ding! It is detected that there are a large number of beast crystals in front of the host. Will it be converted into experience points? The sound of the system sounded in Ji-tian's ears. Transformation. Ji-tian said without hesitation. In a blink of an eye, all the beast crystals disappeared. Experience value plus 50000. A set of blue data appeared in front of Ji-tian's eyes. A full 50,000 experience points were added at one time, which was a huge fortune. However, Ji-tian frowned and asked. System, that's 23,663 beast crystals. You just gave me this little experience point. This is so unreasonable. When he was in the wild, he could gain 10 experience points by killing a black iron primary beast, but this one had tens of thousands of black iron primary beast crystals. How could it only be a mere 50,000? The system won't steal it, right? Ding, host, please rest assured, the system will not steal them. First of all, these ferocious beasts are not hunted by the host personally, so the experience value is halved. Furthermore, beast crystals that are lower than the host level can no longer be converted into experience points when absorbed to a certain extent. After hearing the system's explanation, G was so angry that he wanted to scold her. This black-hearted system steals money and refuses to admit it. Why didn't you tell me just now? I wasted so many beast crystals. Wouldn't it be nice if I used these beast crystals to buy a villa? GTN said resentfully. Ding, you didn't even ask. GTN. This is what I said. Didn't I tell my host without asking about your responsibilities as a system? He just wants to steal my energy. Ding, there is an error in the hesitation system. Now we will reward the host fan with a lottery. Do you want to start the lottery? Lottery. This was the first time I met GTN. Yes. The next second, a big red turntable appeared in front of GTN's eyes. The turntable is divided into large and small grids. GTN glanced at it and found. In the lottery, half of the chances are, thank you for your patronage. GTN's face turned dark when he saw it. Of course there are some better things. For example, the Supreme Qualification Evolution card that was used appeared on it in the lottery. And this doesn't seem to be the most precious thing on the turntable. Quasi-God level Bloodline Evolution Fluid. God level Celestial Dragon Cub. Descendants of the Roaring Sky Dog. Etc. But it is almost impossible to draw these top treasures. Because for any item that exceeds the supreme level, the small grid can only place one pointer. GTN felt that the system did not want to give these to him at all. It's just to make yourself greedy. This is the heaven of European emperors and the hell of non-chiefs. With excitement, the turntable started to turn. The pointer keeps refreshing on each grid. Thanks for the review. Thanks for the review. Thanks for the review. The turntable rotated slower and slower, and GTN found that the turntable would freeze slightly every time it passed by. It made GTN want to scold her on the spot. Where did this dog system come from? Bronze level qualification evolution card. Gold level skill card. A palace level ferocious beast cub. ... The pointer moved slowly across these things. It seemed like it was going to stop soon. A little further, a little further. GTN cheered up the pointer with jealousy. Because it is only one space away from the pointer. That is a Supreme Bloodline Evolution card. This. But it's a reward that only comes as a novice gift package. How could he watch the opportunity pass before his eyes? Ding. FK, I'm hit. GTN looked at the position where the pointer stopped in shock. Isn't it the Supreme Bloodline Evolution card? I never thought that one day I would become the European Emperor. Ding. Congratulations to the host, you have obtained a Supreme Bloodline Evolution card. Chapter 28. Supreme Level Bloodline Evolution card. You can evolve the beast-controlling bloodline of any host to the supreme level. In this world, the way humans evolve is as beast masters, who fight through contracts with beast masters. The evolution method of ferocious beasts is to cultivate their bloodline, constantly explore and evolve their own bloodline, and transform themselves into pure-blooded ferocious beasts. And when a ferocious beast is contracted, it will be difficult for the ferocious beast to evolve its bloodline. And bloodline is a hard indicator that determines the racial status of ferocious beasts. Beasts with bloodline can suppress those without bloodline without any hindrance. Even when the bloodline of the beast reaches a certain level, it can even control beasts with lower bloodline than its own. And this is just one of the functions of bloodline. In general, bloodline has endless magical uses and is a must-have attribute for top-level beast masters. As soon as the system finished speaking, the carousel turned into a purple card and fell into GTN's hand. The moment GTN touched the card, GTN could clearly feel the deep desire of his Shiau Sirius. He was very eager to get this card. So I begged GTN, hoping that GTN could let him absorb this card. Don't worry, this card is yours, no one can take it away. GTN said with a smile. Hearing GTN's promise, the longing Shiau Sirius finally calmed down. But GTN could feel that it was still staring at the card. GTN put the card in front of his eyes and studied it. He discovered that the reason why this purple-red card was so bright was not because of the material the card was made of, but because there was actually a drop of purple-red blood in the card. It dyes the entire card purple. It was also the one that gave Xiaoyu Tinlong unstoppable desire. In other words, as long as the beast control swallows this drop of blood, the beast can purify its own blood to the supreme level. What level is the owner of this drop of blood? Summon the howling moon Sirius, which is almost holding the warehouse, and let it lie down. Xiaoyu Sirius immediately lay down. Its eyes were fixed on the card in GTN's hand. It can be perceived. That is what its blood longs for most, and that is also the card that concerns its life. Even more urgent than the first time I used the Supreme Qualification Evolution card. Because after gaining a strong bloodline, your qualifications will definitely be enhanced. And just because you have strong qualifications, it doesn't mean that you have a strong enough bloodline. In the primitive beast world, they only recognize blood and nothing else. For example, a gold-level ferocious beast without bloodline would not dare to easily offend a silver-level ferocious beast with bloodline. This is an order from the depths of the bloodline soul. Xiaoyu Sirius, I give it to you. GTN did not study the cards in depth because his current strength and status are at the bottom. Even if he studies, he can't learn anything. It is better to directly convert them into strength. System, use this bloodline card. Ding, successful use. The purple-red card turned directly into a ray of light and merged into Xiaoyu Sirius' body. The purple color blends into the moment. Xiaoyu Sirius's silver hair was dyed blood red. At the same time, Xiaoyu Sirius also had a strong expression of pain on his face, and his face was twitching continuously. It wants to roar, but because its owner is right in front of it, it can't. Just endure it. Xiaoyu Sirius, hold on. This is the most important opportunity in your life. Don't you want to accompany me to the top? Don't you want to go back to your tribe and see it? GTN stretched out his hand, stroked Xiaoyu Sirius's head, and said to it. GTN knew that it was the only one who could persevere in this level, and all GTN could do was give him the desire to persevere. The blood in Xiaoyu Sirius's body poured out as if for free, turning into small streams flowing under his feet. Xiaoyu Sirius's body made a sonorous sound, as if his bones were breaking. Remodeling. And in the process, Xiaoyu Sirius' body was gradually shrinking. That drop of blood seemed to be constantly removing the magazine from Xiaoyu Sirius's body, extracting the purest part and retaining it. 10 meters, 8 meters, 6 meters, 4 meters. Xiaoyu Sirius' body shrank by more than half. At the same time, the hair on its body was constantly falling off. GTN could see that on Xiaoyu Sirius's body, brand new silvery hairs were growing at a speed visible to the naked eye. Soon it grew to 10 centimeters long. Cover the body again. Even GTN was surprised to find that Xiaoyu Silver Wolf's level had actually dropped by 2 levels, returning to the level of mid-level black iron. However, the energy in it became more powerful. And at this time, when GTN looked at Xiaoyu Sirius again, he actually felt a sacred feeling. GTN knows, Xiaoyu Silver Wolf succeeded, but it was also unconscious. Have a good sleep, and when you come out, you will blind the eyes of the world. After saying that, GTN put Xiaoyu Silver Wolf away. Let it complete its final bloodline inheritance in the Book of Beast Control with peace of mind. Chapter 29. GTN doesn't know. In the ancestral land of ferocious beasts hundreds of millions of miles away. A crimson ray of light suddenly rushed up from the primitive and inexplicable altar and shot into the sky. Naturally, this huge movement cannot escape the eyes of the ferocious beasts in the ancestral land. Just for a moment, an old man with a beard and a pair of sharp horns on his head, leaning on a green crutch, had appeared under the altar. Another holy sun has appeared. The old man looked at the light rising into the sky and sighed. Another one appears. Another woman with the head of a human and the body of a snake descended from the sky, curled up and quickly came to the old man's side. Soon, dozens of streams of light fell to the ground. Some of them have fully evolved into human form, while others have evolved a small part of their body, including snakes, sheep, horses, and deer. They are all ferocious beasts who have practiced profoundly, and their current form is just one of their transformed forms. These gathered around the altar. He looked up at the light that shot straight into the sky, but his face was a little gloomy. Yes, I just don't know if this is a supreme level qualification or a supreme level bloodline. But this is not a good sign. The old man said slowly. There is endless vicissitudes of life in his eyes. Maybe the old man's strength is not very high, but he is the most respected among these people because he is the person who has lived the longest in the beast's ancestral land. This is already the 9th beam of light. The woman with the head of a human and the body of a snake looked around, her eyes full of bitterness. Those are 8 beams of light with various colors, dyeing the surroundings with colorful colors. It seems that they are competing for beauty. I'm going to find him, and before I can grow up, I'm going to kill him. A strong man with tiger eyes and whiskers stepped forward. It doesn't want to wait here. Asshole, how do you know if this is the incarnation of the beast god? When the old man heard this silly bastard's words, he picked up his crutch and was about to hit the strong man with a tiger beard. The strong man's expression suddenly changed. He was most afraid of the old man hitting him with a cane. You can't hide or hide, you can only continue to hit you. That is a crutch made from the branches of the world tree, it is extremely powerful. After hitting the strong man with a stick, the old man looked at the 9 colored beams of light around him again and said with emotion, the war of the gods 100,000 years ago is far from over. The gods have come to the world one after another to find the only eternal hope. If in the future, without the protection of the beast god, our clan will become the target of ravage by other clans, and may even be threatened with annihilation. However, if the beast god wants to gather the throne again, it will require a huge amount of power. When the time comes, he will definitely choose to sacrifice us all, so we can't wait to die. The strong man said angrily. This won't work, that won't work. Can they just wait to die? As soon as the strong man spoke, the other ferocious beasts were also reluctant. Even if the beast god is their belief or even their ancestor. But no one wants to sacrifice themselves for others. Even if they are ferocious beasts. But it is also a ferocious beast with its own wisdom. Why is it that when he comes, we have worked hard for tens of thousands of years to get to where we are today, just because he is about to lose everything? And he couldn't even save his own life. They are not convinced. Wise man, can our action begin? The snake-shaped woman on the side took a step forward again and asked. What action? Why didn't I know? The strong man with a tiger beard touched his head and asked. He didn't know what to do. The snake girl ignored him at all. She was asking about the old man, or the wise man. Oh, we don't want to do this, but we really have no choice. The old man nodded with a sigh. He knew that when he agreed, the entire continent would be ignited with war, and countless lives would be wiped out. Good. The snake girl does not have compassion for life like the old man. She has killed countless lives since she was born to achieve her current status. The few yeses standing at the front of the crowd looked happy. Several times before, they asked to start taking action, but the old man refused again and again. But this time, the old man agreed. What are you talking about? What exactly is the action? The strong man with a tiger beard couldn't bear these people playing riddles with him, asked eagerly. The other visitors were also very curious, but their status was inferior to the previous ones and they did not dare to ask more questions. The action is, make the ferocious beasts on the entire continent agitate, let them kill, and plunder the unique life essence of living beings. The snake girl explained to the people behind her. It's harmful, isn't it, just to launch a tide of beasts and then plunder the essence and blood? He speaks in a polite manner, similar to a human being. The strong man with a tiger beard waved his hand in disdain and said. He, who loves war, has launched countless beast waves. He is very familiar with this. The snake girl glanced at the tiger-bearded man and continued. The recovery of the beast god requires a lot of life energy, that is to say, before the beast god recovers. If we save enough energy, then we can survive. Speaking of this, Snake Girl glanced at the entire audience. If that's not enough, I think everyone knows. Of course they knew that if it wasn't enough, they would be sacrificed to the beast god. Don't worry, I will immediately summon my ferocious beasts and start killing the surrounding ferocious beasts. That's right, I won't hesitate even if I am bloody for thousands of miles. I've long been disgusted with those human races, and this time I can just kill them. ... Those who came here one by one were all local overlords. When they mobilized their power, the whole world will be afraid of it. Chapter 30. GTN didn't know what was happening far away. As soon as he put Shiau Sirius away, there was a dong dong knock on the door of the warehouse. Come in. GTN said. The door of the warehouse was opened, revealing Ji-bai's round head and looking in. Ji-bai just called his family and told him something, so he came to see GTN. But, when he walked near the warehouse, he saw the blood flowing everywhere, dyeing the area bloody. When he saw clearly that the blood was flowing from the warehouse, he was so frightened that he almost fell to the ground. This is not GTN's blood. With anxiety, he knocked on the door first. Then GTN's voice came from the warehouse, and he finally took a breath. However, when I saw the blood all over the ground and the blood-stained silver hair, his scalp felt numb when he saw it. But he didn't dare to ask. Moreover, he accidentally glanced and discovered that a small mountain of beast crystals originally placed there had disappeared. What's up? GTN asked, seeing Ji-bai's anxious face. Something happened. Just now I received news that the secret realm was opened in advance. Therefore, we must leave now. Ji-bai said anxiously, remembering what his father had just told him about the situation. What else? GTN looked at Ji-bai's hesitant expression and knew that he still had something to say. This. Ji-bai hesitated for a moment. I just heard that the entrance to the secret realm is connected to several other places this time. Therefore, the number of people entering this time may increase, and it is not even ruled out that people of other races will enter. After thinking for a while, Ji-bai still told the information he knew. After speaking, Ji-bai remained silent. The choice now rests with GTN, and he is waiting for GTN's answer. Even if GTN decides not to go, he will not blame GTN. Don't worry, since I have agreed, I, GTN, will not go back on my word. GTN smiled slightly. Is it dangerous? There must be some. Because there are even ferocious beasts above the gold level. And, this time there were other humans and aliens going together. But, he believed, among the younger generation, I am not weaker than others. Crisis. There is also great opportunity in danger. Real. Ji-bai was a little touched, but he didn't expect GTN to actually agree to him. This time, for some unknown reason, the secret realm looked very different. In response to this incident, even the university in the Qin city sent people there. Therefore, it can be said that this trip is extremely dangerous. Whatever you need, as long as I can do it, I will prepare it for you. Ji-bai thought that he could only make GTN worry-free. GTN thought for a moment and said, if you can, please give me as many high-level beast crystals as possible. Due to the evolution of his bloodline, his beast's level dropped by 2 levels. If there are enough beast crystals, then he may be able to restore the beast master to its peak as soon as possible. That's no problem. I'll bring you all the beast crystals I've accumulated over the years. Ji-bai immediately promised. He can still meet this demand. Any more? Ji-bai asked. Now that he has identified GTN, he will do his best to help GTN. This is also a big gamble for him. In fact, even he didn't know why he was willing to hand over his future to a young man of the same age as him instead of looking for a stronger person. Maybe it's GTN's calmness in facing any situation. And the miracle of a comeback at any time. When to set off? GTN asked. He couldn't wait to compete with others. From the moment he awakens, he always crushed them with one move and never encountered an enemy he could fight with. And now, he may compete with other geniuses, even geniuses of other races. How doesn't that turn him on? Turn out to be. I also have a warlike gene. GTN smiled softly. If you are ready, let's leave now. The pick-up and drop-off personnel are already ready for you. Ji-bai explains some of the current situation. Let's go. My dear brother, where do you want to go? A sharp girl's voice suddenly came from this moment. Subsequently, 2 beautiful girls walked in at the door of the warehouse, one behind the other. The box walking in front was wearing a tight red navel-bearing dress, short hair, and a red vest. Looks very chic and beautiful. At the same time, her fiery temper can be seen in her red outfit. The other woman behind her was dressed very differently from the previous woman. She was dressed in black, covering her whole body tightly, and her long black hair was spread on her back. Moreover, there was a black mask on his face, and the only thing left on his body was the cold air. Keep people thousands of miles away. Ji Ling, why are you here? GTN didn't know these 2 people. But Ji-bai was very familiar with the fiery woman in front of him. Of course, I'm here to see how the person you chose is doing. If it doesn't work, why not ask my sister to help you? The woman whom Ji-bai called his sister smiled. Humph, I won't bother you with my affairs. Ji-bai not only did not welcome this sister, but even disliked her. This is her half-sister. He has been very talented and very smart since he was a child. At the same time, she is strong-willed and doesn't like others to disobey her orders. Therefore, Ji-bai was often teased by her when he was young. He has no feelings for this sister at all. That's not okay. I'm your sister. Who cares about you if I don't care about you? Ji Ling immediately refused. After saying that, regardless of Ji-bai's anger, he turned his gaze to Ji Tian beside Ji-bai. Is this the person you chose? Looking Ji Tian up and down, she suddenly smiled. This person should be about the same age as you, right? So what? Ji-bai said stubbornly. Looking good, but in terms of strength, it doesn't seem to be that good. Ji Ling shook his head and said. She has seen it clearly. The person next to her brother Ji-bai was actually only a mid-level black iron level person. With such strength, how could he dare to agree to go to that secret realm? It was a dangerous place where silver was not as good as a dog and gold was everywhere. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.